The fun of live streaming is to see whether or not it is actually streaming and working. So I think we're good now. I can see the live stream is happening and actually coming through for you. Had a little bit of bugs with the YouTube and trying to make sure that the streaming was occurring for you. It looks like we're good and up now, so good morning to all of you that are joining us. If you are here in the US, it's going to be good morning. If you are joining us from overseas, good afternoon to some of you as well. It's Friday and we're going to go over the weekly wrap-up of things that happened here at Potomac Beads, as well as new products, new ideas, new designs, and have some fun designing on the fly with some new beads. So, like I said, the fun of the live television is sometimes it stops in the middle of the actual stream and tells me that I have a live stream, and then I don't. So good morning to everyone. We are back in business and here. So the first thing that I usually like to do is go over the videos that came out this week in case you missed them, and what was made in them, and the tips or hints, or answer some questions that were involved in those as well. So some of the different things that happened this week were the actual New Year. So Happy New Year to those of you that I haven't gotten to say Happy New Year to. 2018 was a super busy, crazy kind of growth year here at Potomac Beads. And so now we're on to 2019. We're really excited for the changes that are coming, the changes that we've made, and our anticipated growth. If you haven't checked out the video of Nathan and I got Nathan onto the camera, and I know Pavel is here watching with BeadApp, and he, I believe, is going to get on camera too and do some of those different BeadApp videos, working around with them. So we're getting some of the men behind the scenes onto the actual video, but it was a great way in the 2019 video to show you and to look forward to changes to come and get us excited and pumped about goals for the year. So not really resolutions, more so goals that you're working for and seeing here too. So yeah, 4 p.m. So Happy New Year to you as well too, Deborah. So looking at the week, kind of what the videos brought this week. So we had that January 1st, 2019. I've only written 2018 about 20 times so far. And yeah, keep writing 2018 on everything. It'll only take about a month and a half for me to change that up. But we introduced that 2019 video where Nathan joined me and we went over kind of the goals. And then I did a 2018 reflective video talking about the 18 and 2018 things as well. And keep in mind, usually we'll do a blog about the best products and the most popular products in the previous year too. So we'll have that coming up for you that you can check out and look at those different products. And then we usually do a preview as well for things that are upcoming. A lot of companies introduce new styles and new beads in February, early February, late January. And so we'll have some even more new beads for you to check out then as well too. Going over this week and the videos that were actually design videos. One of the fun videos that I did was actually during making kind of an auction piece where I was playing with wire and designing and allowing you to join in that design process. So it showed from the concept and kind of picking out the beads to what wire selections and changing wire selections and working with doing coiled loops and kind of how to end different multimedia pieces. It's a multi-strand wire necklace, and it really does go and actually, you can check out kind of how to do those loops and how to make that perfection when it comes to that loop making. Now I did use a thin gauge. You can use a 26 or 28 gauge for that. And unfortunately it was an auction piece, and the pieces that were photographed for some of the header pictures, those were teacher gifts as well. So for Christmas, those all were handed out, but I did bring back to show you, so in case you missed that, some kind of expansions on those ideas and working with them. And of course now I have it all tangled up along with my beading thread for later, and just to show you some different ideas when it comes to wire working and how to play around with wire and different things that once you learn those wire working techniques, really what you can do and where you can go from there. So with the different techniques here, I have to show you the necklace that is going to be the same thing, that's using head pins instead of actual chain, and then literally just a bead on a drop. Same thing, using head pins, making that little change where you're just using the drop, and then also showing you how simply and how elegant you can take a simple thing like pearls, add in that chain look to it, and get that nice beaded design. So I know many of you watching are seed beaters by trade, that you do bead weaving, but expand a little bit, and when you start to do the actual chain link and beading, you can really kind of mix those media. So I noticed on our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making, if anybody's a member there, one of our members, and I wish I had remembered her name, she posted a lovely picture about metal smithing and a bail that she did, along with some wire working and some bead weaving. So use these techniques that are shown and actually go for it and kind of do that mixed media. A lot of mixed media pieces are really, really fun. Add chain to the back of the designs. You could do a beaded bead on the top and then use those wire skills. So it's kind of a challenge for some of you, and asking you to kind of increase those skills and go in and actually do some of that wire working. So again, if you're just joining us, hello from there. I'm gonna actually be showing, we're talking about some grab bags. Deb, I know that you're asking about grab bags. I'm going to be going over and doing an unpacking of them too as well. So I will show those. So this is kind of that design live almost that I did, recorded video, working with those multi-strands of gemstones. Wanted to hit on that. A 19 video. The other video that came out were the geometric earrings. And I actually brought several pairs of earrings out here, and to show you some of the fun things that you really can do with earrings. I tend to think that earrings actually, to some degree, get a little bit more creative than necklaces, because it's not that same repetitive fashion. And I also wanted to show you the progression of the actual geometric earrings as I was working with them. So there's a lot of different ones, like Anna had done these hanging basket earrings as well that you can check out. And I even have on just simple little earrings that have the crystal that are glued into the cup buttons. I wear them all the time. They match with everything. For those of you wondering, a lot of times people want to know, I have on the two-hole netted round, so check that out as well if you're looking at it. But with the geometric earrings, a lot of people say for different designs that they're so simple and they're so easy. Yeah, that's the idea, is that they are nice and simple and easy. And the one thing that I hope that people appreciate is that it doesn't just happen right away, and it just doesn't come to fruition in a matter of seconds. It usually takes about 6 to 7 tries to get the spacing right, the seed beads right, and to get and make sure that it's going to be easy to replicate and easy to teach as well. So the geometric earrings went through phases where I know I wanted to use one of the halo beads. So the halo beads here, this is a 1-hole. I ended up using a 2-hole. The halo bead, if you're unfamiliar with it, is our newest Potomac's bead that we had manufactured in Greece for us, and it is a Zamic metal. And I actually went over in the last Friday wrap-up kind of what that Zamic metal is. And when looking through it and using it, it gives a really, really nice almost soldered look and a soldered end as well. And I went from doing a single bead and working with that because Anna and I both thought it kind of looked like a gnome hat. So it's still fun and geometric, but I decided to add another Ava bead along the bottom here. So it went from the little gnome hat and a single strand one to the double strand, the 2-hole one, and then an Ava bead on each side. And then I decided to kind of go in it and expand it even more too. So thanks, Teresa, for liking the geometric earrings. I do want to make a couple different pairs too. And I want to make a couple different pairs with different things down the side. So these are the longer 12mm check bugles. You can also throw in a bunch of seed beads down the side. I thought the check bugles kind of brought in a nice shape to it. If you want them to sit a little bit more squared, you can also throw some 11/0 seed beads on the outer edge rather than 15/0s, which will bump those seed beads out a little bit more in that. So if you're not into the gnome hat, add another Ava bead. If you're not into just the Ava bead, you can progress. And I said multiple times in the geometric earrings that you can kind of stop at any point. The soldered, I was saying, rather than the actual So soldered is going to be completely closed. So it gives it that kind of nice bezel set look when you're looking at it. And just a reference for the top here. At the top of earrings, it's always a really good idea, I think, to use wire guards or wire protectors. They give a nice finished look and they make it really easy to hang it from anything. So almost all earrings that I do, I use those wire guards right along the top. Rather than making a seed bead loop or a jump ring, the wire guards make sure, and I use it a lot too if I'm going to hang something down like a tassel, the wire guards help to make sure that a jump ring is not opening. It's a nice closed feature that you're attaching it right to an ear wire, so you have no chance that it's going to come out here. So play around with the geometric earrings. And I did say in the video too, like I said, you can stop with the gnome hat, you can add another Ava bead to the end. I want to change up and do some Eva ones with it as well. And then check out too that you could actually make a whole necklace out of these. So you could, if you want to kind of create that geometric pattern, linking them all together, whether or not you want to do it as complex or easier too as well. So yay. Teresa says she's working on 2 new videos as well too. So yay, that makes me excited as well, because it's always fun when other people contribute also. And working with the geometric earrings then, the other thing that I did go over in the past week was the last Better Beater episode, which if you're not joining us for the Better Beater episodes, the Better Beater episodes are designed to teach you things that aren't necessarily in YouTube videos. They might be touched on YouTube videos, but you may also have to watch multiple different things to get the answers to these simple things. The Better Beater videos are the idea that really what you are learning is going to make you a better beater and a better jewelry maker. So this past Saturday, I always have them come out on Saturdays, so check your inboxes. If you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe. That way then you actually get notifications when we go live, and if we have to stop and go live again, as well as those regular updates when we have new videos like the Better Beater episodes, which I really think, even if it's not your style of jewelry, they're really hopefully helpful. They're quick, generally not more than 20 minutes, and it's more a teaching rather than a technique. And for this last one, I actually went over how to end leather cording. And I thought this was really helpful, and I wanted to touch on the fact that it doesn't need to be leather when you're looking at it. So this technique is going to be basically ending cording. That there's so many different options out there, and it's really hard for people to determine or to make sure that they have the right thing to end the different pieces of cording. So in the Better Beater episodes, I also invite people to comment in those episodes and let us know the techniques and the tips and the tricks that they have and that they use. So I went over how to use just a regular spring end as well as fold over ends, how to use wire to do your own clasp as well, going over ribbon ends, glue-in ends, as well as end cones or end caps. So join in that conversation, because the actual okay, so you need to turn on the bell to get the notification. I'm getting updated about that too. But you need to subscribe so that way you get the regular updates, and then turn on that bell so you get notifications when different things are happening live for you. And I'm trying to do these live events every Friday to do that actual wrap up of the week, because I know we produce a ton of content, and sometimes with the production of all this content, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So Fridays are a great way to see often me wearing or going over or talking about the videos that were this previous week, as well as catching you up on new products. I know I've been behind with a lot of product spotlights, and some of you had requested them in the 2019 video, and I will try to get to some of those product spotlights as we go through and do some of the videos also, because I think they are helpful to see the different beads. And it's a continuation of those Better Beater episodes, where at the beginning I went over the different beads that you can use in place of other beads, and the product spotlights, usually I do that as well. So we'll try to get more of those in. So again, I went over those leather ends. Those are those Better Beater episodes. Check those out on Saturday mornings. We publish those. The next one coming up this coming Saturday is going to be one that hopefully a lot of you like and really, really get involved in that conversation. Because the comments below for these videos, especially the Better Beater videos, the idea is that we work as a community to help grow the craft, that we help solve problems and teach others in this whole beading world. That's the idea of the Better Beater videos, and that was the idea of the leather ends. Give your tips, your tricks, and your techniques too in the comments below on those videos. The other thing that happened this week, and it's like a drum roll please, is that the Bead app is now available in both the Android and Apple, so the Google Play as well as the Apple Store too, that you can go in and you can actually subscribe to and download the app. So playing around with the app has been a lot of fun for a lot of you, and to be helpful for that, you can check out and you can like Bead app on Facebook, as well as check out the YouTube videos that go along with it. So if you're struggling, if you want to watch it in action before you actually purchase it, check that out because it will help you and answer a lot of those questions ahead of time. The interesting thing with the Bead app, and Teresa did go live yesterday on Bead app's Facebook page, and then we posted it as a link on ours too, is that there's going to be different people and different uses for the app. That some designers may look at it as writing patterns. Other people may look at it as playing with beads and trying out and see which geometric figures get put together. My 9-year-old daughter just likes to play and move the beads and see which pictures she can draw with the beads, which honestly is part of design as well. So check out the Bead app. You can, I know there's been a lot of questions on how much it costs and how to download it and all of that. Check out the YouTube videos for that, as well as Facebook page for the Bead app, and it's going to vary based on kind of your currency, so make sure that you check that out as well, and visit beadapp.io for all the information as well. So Teresa put that link to in the comments if you want to check that out. We'll also put a link to it in the actual comments on this video. Remember that if you want to see any of these or tell anybody that these videos are here, you can always watch them after the fact as well. I know some people watching this will be watching them after the fact because they're at work or they have things. In the Google Play Store, it's Bead app, so APP. Bead app, and check that out there. There's also a description there so you can look at it and kind of check it out prior to actually downloading it and subscribing to that Bead app. So that's kind of the Bead app, and we'll be doing a live. I know Teresa is going to do some more live demos, and there's been some really cool pictures in our Facebook group. Again, the Facebook group is for beading and jewelry making, and if you check that out, it's really fun because people have posted their designs that they have done on the actual app, and then the designs that they did in real life based on that app, and actually going from the design of the app to the actual design with the beads, and knowing exactly how many beads to have and seeing the fit and everything for there as well too. So thank you so much for Daniela from Down Under. I see a lot of people from Australia, some people from, we had some France people, some Israel people. So the fun thing with doing this in the morning is that I get to hang out and chat with a lot of you that are in Europe, because the actual people, when I do this, sometimes other times it's really, really late at different parts of the world. So those of you catching us in Europe and in Asia and in Australia, welcome to you guys as well too. I think the fun thing on Wednesday when I did the Facebook Live, I think we had 5 continents represented in that Facebook Live, with people saying where they were all from. So that's kind of a fun thing. If you read the comments along the side or bottom, depending on which device you're using, you can see how big and how great this community is as well too. And we have Puerto Rico signing in as well too. So hi to Nadia from Puerto Rico. So the other thing that I wanted to do, so I wanted to talk about the Bead app, just touching on it a little bit. I'm not going to focus on a whole Bead app. I think we're going to do 2 different design lives too coming up, with the Bead app versus the actual beads. So Teresa and Pavel, I know, are planning on doing one once she gets kind of camera going, and once they get the craziness of the Bead app, and making sure to iron out any kinks that are happening. This is kind of beta and the testing for one, and then as they work through and get more beads in there as well too. So that is coming, and then we're going to do some design challenges with the Bead app as well as with the actual beads. In addition to that, one thing that we have right now going on are the fun of the grab bags. So I randomly picked out 3 grab bags, 3 seem to be the number that a lot of people are ordering, and I wanted to grab out 3 of the metal grab bags. So we brought to you gemstone grab bags that were about, I guess, 3 weeks ago, right before Christmas. We did grab bags for the actual gemstones, and these metal grab bags we did quickly afterwards. They fit in really, really well to the actual gemstone grab bags. For the actual gemstone grab bags, we went through and picked a nice selection and a mix of beads you can make a necklace with. I know I've seen some people asking what to string it on, what to make it on. Check out the YouTube videos because I made one specifically for that. It's a better beater episode going along with some bigger or heavier beads as well. And then going in and checking out some of the metal mix. So we have the metal mixes right now, and these are 3 different metal bags. Some of them are silver, some of them have gold and brass, some of them have mixed metal. No 2 are alike. And if you order multiples, we always try to make sure that we can actually, or that we'll actually give you different ones. And if we give you a silver one, we give you a gold one too. So we try to vary those up. And in each bag, I think is like 9 to 10 bags of metal. So this is kind of fun because I have no idea what's in these bags. So I'm just as excited as you are to unpack them. I haven't had a chance to go through these at all, and I wasn't involved with any of the packing, so it's kind of fun. So I've got crimp beads, I've got ends of necklaces, I have some brushed gold beads, some brushed copper, I've got fun turtles, I have a lobster clasp, a screw clasp, some pretty brass head pins, and some Eden cones. So there are a lot of things here that I could use, and even some of this I could just make as they are basically, and string on some of the metal and make a fun metal mixed bracelet as well. So that was kind of a gold and copper bag that I unpacked. And let's see, this silver one, check out what's in here as well. Ooh, we got some hollow beads, some bigger beads. So I've got a bail in this one. I've got some head pins, some screw-on backings. I've got some pretty filigree rounds. I have some memory wire ring. This one's really random. I've got some fold over ends. They go along with it. I have a bigger kind of kumihimu bail. I've got a charm. I have some toggles, a large hole copper style bead, and some silver pewter beads as well too. So these are really fun. Actually, I love seeing the funness of these. I want this bag. I could do so much with this bag. So this is really fun, actually. Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, like I said, I am unpacking these. The turtles are really, really cute. We have turtles and some dragonflies and stuff too that are really, really cute. So some of you may have gotten some of these things in the grab bags that we did, but we decided to do whole metal grab bags. I'll open up one more just so we can see what's in this one. And this one is a mixed metals, and we have some more brushed. This one has some of those pewter as well. Oh, I like these. Hollow brass corrugated rondelles. We've got some more clasps and some more toggles, some little clasps, some larger fold over crimps. Oh, I like these vintage brass fold overs. I have a pretty brass bar that I would wrap with wire and put some beads in the middle of that. Some large copper ends, 2 bails, some brass frames, so you slide the beads in there, and then some eye pins as well. So these are really fun collections. I love the actual grab bags of these because with the different grab bags, it actually challenges you to kind of go outside the box. I know a lot of people I have seen comment on the different grab bags, whether or not it's the gemstones or the metals, that the idea is that it gets you out of kind of that designing lull and gives you new things that you necessarily wouldn't even find on the website, although they are. You can look at those, check them all out, and get creative because these no 2 are the same. You're going to have a bunch of different options when you're looking at the grab bags and have fun creating with them. Again, this makes sure that you get out there and you have fun and you create and you become a designer with things you wouldn't normally use. And I'm looking at the side conversations and laughing too about the sip of wine before every live that Teresa has to take. Anna used to have to say that she did that as well too, going in, and it can be really intimidating on camera to talk. You get all kinds of different fun comments about different things, about nails and hair and makeup and all kinds of different fun things. And to put on top of that, you have to make sure that you are speaking clearly, that you're communicating well, and it makes the videos really difficult for some because there are some people that aren't as nice online as necessarily they would be in public. The cool thing is that our customer base and the actual watchers on YouTube, you guys are really great. People are super kind, super nice. If you look at other streams of crafting or other actually clothing or other YouTube videos, people can be terrible and nasty. And the cool thing is we have a great community. We're in a great craft, and people are really, really, really nice in this actual beading world as well. Makes it easier to do the YouTube videos, to do them on the fly, and to make sure that you're not as nervous because it's talking to a bunch of friends too. So that's also fun as well too. So the fun beads too that I wanted to do a little heads up for after the grab bags and showing you those was some of the new products I wanted to actually just show along with the Better Beater episodes. I showed these in the last live, but I realized that I didn't actually go through really well kind of that change out and what they can become and what they can be used, or what they can use as well. So I went over, and these are selling really, really well. These are the rosettes. They are little tiny cabs that look like flowers, and they are 2-hole. And I was going to do a little bit of a pattern design with them, and I may still bring them in with what I'm going to do. I'm going to be playing in a couple minutes with some extra large carrier beads and just doing a quick 5-minute design live sort of a deal, kind of wrapping up and showing you how they can be used and some of the cool things that we've seen them in. But I wanted to show the rosettes because I've had a number of questions about what can be used and what the rosettes, and of course I picked light silver, and that was like not thinking. I should have picked a different color so you could see it better. But I wanted to show you in that whole Better Beater realm what could be used in place of and in addition to different beads. So I have here, these are 6mm 2-hole rosette cabs. They're little tiny roses, and again, that silver color, I should have thought about that ahead of time and picked a better one. But they have a little tiny rose design and a rose shape to them. I laid out next to them the disc duos as well as the 6mm 2-hole cab. They are a 2-hole cab. And I wanted to show also that side profile, because that was actually a question that I had too from Deb from our Minnesota store, is are they taller or are they shorter? They're actually pretty much the exact same mold as that regular 2-hole cab. So they're gonna have that same profile of the 2-hole cab and can be used in many, many different patterns that call for that 2-hole cab. Throw a rosette in and you're gonna get a whole different look. So I want to just show kind of that side profile, how big they are, and challenge you to take those rosettes and actually change out a lot of the patterns for those 2-hole cabs, and then show you them against the disc duo as well. I was thinking there's a discs and diamonds video that these would look really cute in, and kind of change up that if you used a bunch of different colors of them, it would almost look like a rose garden that you could use and kind of play around with them. So check out those rosettes. I know I touched on them quickly last time, but I wanted to show them and say, because I've had a lot of questions, what can you use them for? Do you have any videos with them? I'm sure I'll make a video with them, but check out any video that has the cab in it or 6mm bead in it and change them out for a completely different look. I would love to use everything and make tons and tons of videos, but sometimes there just isn't enough time to use all the new things that you have. So there's all kinds of new products as well too. So Teresa is a newlywed. I see that kind of going on the side there too. So she hasn't even had a whole year. So this is their first full year. So yeah, I just thought about that. Teresa, it's your first full year of marriage that you can look forward to. I was having fun actually taking down the Christmas tree yesterday and looking at the ornaments and seeing about the whole like toaster ornament we have from when my husband and I first got married, and then the little kids ornament that we have time flies as you're looking, and I realized that with that 2019 goals, how much time has gone by since the 14 years ago that we opened the bead store. So this year actually will be year 14 for Potomac Beads, and kind of the different transition and where we've come from in that as well too. So I had said, and I saw that Teresa said that these are coming to the EU store soon. I wanted to go over the carrier beads. So there's been some patterns out there that have the extra large carrier beads. We got them by request. And if you have things that you're looking for that we don't carry, you can usually just email us or ask us. And most likely if we don't have it, Nathan will order it and we will have it in then too. So if you're looking for something that we don't have currently, it's either new and it's coming, or it is actually going to be ordered, or there's actually something that's really, really close that can be used in addition or replacement, or it may have a different name. So I wanted to go over kind of that whole carrier bead craze and the extra large carrier beads and what those are. So the carrier beads themselves, when you're looking, I have these ones that kind of look like an oil slick. They're crystal iris. They're actually a transparent, but they're really, really pretty. Most of the time with the carrier beads, you're not even going to be seeing much of the carrier bead at all. So you're not seeing actually what goes into kind of the funness or the coating. Really what you're seeing on most of them, like this layer cake one, is you're just seeing the bottoms or the tops of the actual carrier bead when you're working with it. And then most carrier bead designs have the covers completely covering the beads. I actually saw, I think it was Beadwork, I don't want to say which one, they had a design in it that did not cover the whole carrier bead, and it was very, very pretty. So using that 2-hole bead as more of kind of a base. So in addition to the carrier beads, which they are, what are they? 9 by 17, I think is what they are. These larger ones are 11 by 27 millimeter. So I have the jet bronze. What I was gonna do is I have some beads sitting around here, and I have a needle and thread, and I was just gonna play with this. I will make a video and show you exactly what the different count is, that if you do wanna cover the entire thing, you can see it's a little bit wider, so you're gonna need one more row of your beads. You could also just keep it so you see a little bit more on the side, and then I'll go over and create an actual count for the number of beads if you do want to do the peyote style in that you can do the peyote style of that carrier bead. I like the idea of mixing the big and the small as well. But the other thing that you can do is this is a 2-hole bead. So I have actually the kind of new colors of Toho. And let me do here, let's see what I've got. So I have some of the new Permafinish colors of the Toho. Excuse me. Fun of live television. So I have these new, we've gotten a lot of the Toho Permafinish. They kind of came out with new colors. We've got a lot of those newer colors in. And I wanted to show you and go over the idea of kind of decorating the actual extra large carrier bead. So the first thing I'm doing is I have some black thread so you can see it. And I'm putting a stop bead on. A stop bead, if you're unfamiliar with it, is a bead that is going to actually come off. So it's going to just function as a bead literally to stop the beads from falling off the thread. So I'm going to put my thread through a stop bead. And the first thing I'm going to do is actually sew through that extra large carrier bead. And the carrier beads have a decent size hole. So you can, I know I've used them even just with, back when we called them pillow beads before the carrier bead craze, I did a video that we called them pillow beads and literally just strung them with a bead in between on some stretchy string. But I thought I would have fun, and a Monty would look really cool. I should have brought a Monty back, kind of having fun crisscrossing in front of that extra large carrier. And let's see what bead or crystal I have here sitting in front. Actually, yeah, I'll just use a tiny little crystal. And the spacing might be off, but I'm gonna go at a diagonal, or I'm gonna fling it across my bead mat here, and I'll put a bead on. I have 3 11-0s on, and then I have a crystal. I'll see if 3 11-0s is going to do it. And the first thing I'll do is go across the carrier bead on a diagonal, taking the thread from one corner bottom to the top of the other side, and it's not going to make it, but those beads kind of sit on the top nicely, so actually I might keep that. So you'll see the thread a little bit on the sides, but I'll end up covering that up. And I'll use 3 more here, and we'll just crisscross through. And crisscross through that crystal, make a little X. And you can do this with the extra large, you can do it with the regular carrier beads. So don't limit yourself. A lot of the carrier bead designs are just those peyote covers, and they're beautiful, but make sure that you don't sell yourself short. Make sure that you can kind of have fun doing all kinds of different designs. So I'll go straight across now. And because these carrier beads have really pretty large holes, you can have fun working with them. So these are 11 seed beads that I'm pushing kind of to the top here, and 6 is the count. That's going straight across the top. Now I'll go from one hole to the other hole, decorating that as well. And here along the side, I'm not going to put any thread there. I'm just going to jump from one to the other. And this is the fun of, I have no idea what I'm making, and did not look at these ahead of time and just pulled these seed beads out. And I had the crystal on the actual mat here, go through and play around with these designs. So there's the fun of the carrier bead. It can flip to the back. I want to bring that to the front and play with these extra large ones. So that's kind of pretty. I have just that fun little design here. And then what I would do to cover up the thread is actually go along the sides here. Let's see here. I need 2 beads, and then we'll pop one of those crystals that I have floating on the side of my mat here. Pop those crystals on the outer edge here. And I'm sure that the designs with these will keep coming, and that people will start to use these larger carrier beads as well. So that kind of pops there on the side. And this is a change up. You really could do 2-sided, that you could have beads on one side, beads not on the other side, or a completely different design from one side to the other. What I can do now also is take those beads up along the side, go in from one side to the other. That's just really a cute, simple design, working with those carrier beads and adding them along. I could even do another row of seed beads along the side, which are going to do the same thing, but just make it look a little bit more bulky. And like I said, they have a nice large hole, so that allows you to go through them a lot of times with a thread. And this is just I like that a lot better actually. And whether or not I go through those beads or just for now kind of tuck around and jump from one hole to the other hole, just let that thread kind of go to the side here. I'm gonna put 6 more beads along the top. And if you want them to look exact and have that nice kind of look that it doesn't have any variance in the seed beads, you'll want to use Miki Delicas, and that'll have them lay flat against. But also, I probably should have used a rosette in the middle. That would have been really pretty, that 2-hole bead, and use that. And then if I were to do this again, I'd put some 15-0s along the side, so that way I don't have that extra thread exposed. And then along the side here, let's see if I've got some 15-0s, or here I'll use a different color so it stands out, a lighter bead. Again, this is that advantage of having tons of room in the holes that I can sew over then to the other side. Pop these seed beads there to give a little bit of a different look and play around with it as well. So these are actually really fun. I'll go through and, like I said, make sure that I get a count for you. So, oh yeah, you could definitely connect the smaller carrier beads as well too. My plan for these when looking at them was to use the smaller carrier beads in addition to the larger carrier beads, especially if you're using them in this kind of technique that you're not actually doing a peyote cover for them. You can use the smaller ones and the bigger ones, and kind of use the bigger ones to highlight a bead in the middle, smaller ones keep more simple. I could go right in now, and in fact I'll do that so I can show you. I'll go right in now and connect it to the next style of carrier bead. I'll just add 3 seed beads, hop over to another carrier bead here, sew through the side just to connect them and to show you really quickly. And 3 more beads here. And you can always string them after the fact, but I feel challenged now since I was asked. And 3 seed beads, that's how it's going to connect from one carrier bead to the other. So it's like any really 2-hole beads. So yeah, you can mix them horizontally as well as vertically too. So you could put them through the other way too. That would really be fun. And actually you could graduate them and do a fun pendant that you use the bigger one at the bottom, then you go with a carrier, and then you can also go with a smaller 2-hole bead and kind of make it look like that layer cake, but actually do a smaller kind of pendant design. Going straight across here then to the other carrier beads. And the carrier beads, like I said, I love the color and the art that people are putting with the actual peyote stitch of the carrier bead. Keep in mind, you can do this with lots of beads, not just the carrier bead, not just that pillow-shaped bead. You can do it with all kinds of different ones. But it's a little bit more fun to see what people do with it that's not Delica covers. So I enjoy seeing those variations a little bit more. And here I have that same design idea, kind of going across the top then, and going from one to the other. So you could keep it simple. You could do just an X on one. And these are bad colors because it's kind of the same color right on top of the actual carrier bead. So you're not seeing a lot of definitions with the seed beads. And like I said, if you wanted to lay a little bit flatter along the bead, go ahead and use the actual Delicas with it. You can do that. And if you want a little bit more symmetry with the seed beads too, I tend to believe that Miyuki seed beads are a lot more consistent than the Toho beads are. But they're all pretty too. Toho has some really pretty colors. So there's kind of playing around with that design. Here's adding in some more of those beads and kind of that color mix. I'll throw in some smaller beads along the top here. And this is just to show you how you can actually use the extra large carrier beads and then throwing in that smaller carrier bead, use them together. We have the extra large, and we actually have new colors of the carrier beads. This technique and this design idea is going to have it so you actually see the beads a little bit more, and you actually would not cover up the entire piece of glass. So keep that in mind, because I think the carrier beads, a lot of them just literally cover up the entire piece of glass and then you don't see anything with it. And these are just one of the tons and tons and tons of new things that we have here at PotomacBeads. So I went over kind of those rosettes to show you how you're doing it on different sides. Oh, Allison, you went through and not back through the other way. Here's that funness of making up words, of going through and doing a mistake. We'll go to the other side here and get that in. So here's just kind of playing around. The 15-0s look so much nicer on the top than kind of putting it with the 11s. But here's a nice simple design. I could go through now, again, decorate the sides and then add on my next large carrier bead. So go in here and so. Yeah, so thanks that actually appears for you. Yeah, the carrier beads, I feel like it's a broken record with the carrier beads with these covers on them. They're really pretty, and it's, I think, a great artistic design that I've seen people do color waves and use different colors on it, but it does become a little stale in my mind. So it's kind of fun to just play around with them in this method and this technique and go for it. And I'm just going to show you one more time rather than actually decorating the top. Add 3 beads then if you want. And we'll go from one side over to back to a big one. So we'll go back through to the big one. And look, now they're connected to another big one. And you can go through then and connect it back through the other way and kind of have fun after that for you too. So they are, yeah, they're quite pretty in person. The carrier beads, like I said, I love when people do it in that color wave. I know Jill Wiseman did one where she did a whole bunch of different blacks and whites, and it's really pretty. They're really fun, and I even like them, on a stretchy bracelet and stretchy material. The debate is to glue or not to glue. With this type of beading and just kind of doing that fun beading over the top, you're not actually going to need to glue. So whether or not you're doing the peyote stitch style or you're just kind of actually beading it, two different complete ideas, two different complete kind of looks on the same bead, which is really, really fun because you can change it up so that way it appeals to more types of people. I know people say that they like the peyote, they don't like the peyote, they like to see the bead. I think the bummer with the peyote is that it covers the bead, but the nice thing is with that, you don't have to make a whole setting. You can cover and wrap something about it. So there's definitely different appeals to different people, as well as you can like both styles too. Like I said, I've seen some beautiful color waves of those different carrier beads and colors that were used, and then it's fun to use those extra large beads and have fun with that as well. So the fun part of this weekly wrap up is showing you some of these new products, how you could use them, playing on the fly and just creating and making with what I have around my entirely messy area. I like to keep these little weekly wrap ups pretty short. Again, if you want to watch this after the fact or you're just joining us now, you can check out, I unpacked some of the grab bags, went over some of those 2019 goals, the introduction of the Bead App, .io, you can check that out, as well as going over some of that wire working and challenging you to use some of those wire working skills as well. Remember, we try to do these every Friday at 9 a.m. on this YouTube platform. So if you do want to get notified when we go live, click that little bell. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and you'll get regular updates. Again, tomorrow, Better Beater, join in the conversation, check that out, and tell us your creative ways to solve beading problems as well as to make people better beaters as well. As always, with this fun live event, there's some things that go wrong that happen. Audio gets behind. We have to start over. But I really appreciate you guys kind of sticking with us and being part in the conversation of this Facebook and these YouTube lives as well. As always, have a wonderful weekend. That kind of TGIF, thank goodness it's Friday. We're going to go and ship out a bunch of orders, get some new things ready for next week, some new designs recorded, and join you on Friday here at 9 o'clock next week as well. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. All of you from all over, continue in that conversation. Give a little thumbs up if you like these weekly wrap-ups. We like to keep it fresh and we like to change up what we do here at Potomac Beads and want to make sure by those thumbs up and those little kind of interactions that these videos are useful to people and that you like the formats. Tell us what you would like to change, and having so many different things kind of wrapped into 45 minutes. So thanks so much for watching from us at Potomac Beads. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it no matter where you are, because there's people from all over. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. And for those of you, again, that I haven't said it to, Happy New Year, and looking forward to what 2019 really has to bring. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and have fun making jewelry this weekend and joining us through watching the other YouTube videos as well.